So, folks, before we get into the footage from our trip to Goodleburg, I just wanted to do like a quick PSA. Goodleburg is its own place. It has its own identity energy-wise. The souls there have claimed the whole place as their own. They don't like visitors just because of all the desecration that has happened before. So honestly, if you don't have a reason to be there, I wouldn't go there. If you go there, be respectful, get in and get out as quick as you can.
Don't touch anything.
Yeah.
No.
Even if it looks like trash,
Don't pick it up.
Leave it. Let some worker come be the one that picks up the garbage. But just wanted to say that the footage you're going to see has a lot going on, but I don't want people seeing it and wanting to go experience it. It has a lot of energy vibes. Anything either of you want to add?
I was just going to add, if for whatever reason you do end up there, just be respectful. Don't leave your trash. Don't break anything.
Don't add to the anger that's already there.
Yeah.
We were there peacefully and respectfully, and they weren't even too happy to see us. You'll see some interesting things. But we just wanted to stop in and say that real quick.
Thanks, guys.
Hey everyone, it's me, Andrew. So, you saw our little warning / PSA there, but I also just wanted to pop back in real quick before the clips and pictures start rolling. I edited this one a little differently. We got a ton of different activity and different things that couldn't really be explained. So instead what I did is I edited it so the footage we captured runs normally. I didn't do any zoom-ins or slow-downs. But then after the footage is over, I did like a mini highlight reel that just goes back through and goes back over the pictures and videos that had some abnormalities, some lights, some orbs, some flashes, and then it slows those down and zooms in there, and then I can talk over those. So I just wanted to let you know that if you're seeing things in the videos as they go, that's okay. That's as planned. That's normal. And then everything will slow down and go back through those. I just want to give you guys a heads up so you're not worried about missing anything. Thank you. We have made it to Goodleburg Cemetery on Goodleburg Road. We had to park a while up there because there is no parking allowed on the street down here. So we had to park and then walk down. Oh, made a beer bottle. Are those bullet holes in the side? Yeah. Jesus. Don't be dicks. Some old stonework here. Oh, is this a map of the graves?
Yeah. Unreadable down. That's the one that's tipped over there. So there's
Civil War veteran.
There's like 5 rows. Fact that I do want to check out that I could see from us walking down the road that I wanted to look at closer, but.
There definitely is a feeling here. Of unrest. It is a heavy feeling. Spirits, we are not here to harm or disrespect you. We are here just to visit respectfully. You are not allowed to come back with us. Please stay here. Scenery around is gorgeous. As Alex pointed out, the trees reminiscent of the Alms house. Oh. Alright, so we got a few graves back here at the end. So I do hear something in the trees, but I'm pretty sure it's just a bird. I don't know if the camera is catching it at all. Oh, that's a strong wind. So I'm gonna go around this stone here out of respect so I don't step on it, because it has come off its base. And both of them have. But just like at the Erie Cemetery, there is a penny on it, which could be left as a token or for something else. And there's one on him as well. There's a decent amount of graves with points back towards the front. In this situation, I'm assuming they are mostly tokens. Yeah. There's a lot focused on the Revolutionary War veterans that's buried here. So I definitely think they're intended. It is heavy. Bad feeling here. Could that be the pond? That's what I'm looking at. That's what I think. So, I know this isn't anything spiritual at all, but the way this tomb broke, it's almost like the Blair Witch symbol. Yeah, it is broken in a weird way. I wouldn't say that has anything to do with anything, but just observation. So, this one tree. That tree's wild. I heard something in there. I think it was a bird, though. I also wonder, is this a former headstone? That's what I was thinking, too. There are several like this that, looking on the map, they seem to be something there, but there's nothing. Grave markers are made. See that cast iron rod. And I noticed on that circle one on the ground, you can tell that one fell off the bigger base. Yep. Next to her husband. So this is the pond. And this is where it said that the Dr. Albert Speaker disposed of bodies. One thing I want to point out is there are markers saying private property. So I am not going to cross the line to walk over to the pond, but I did at least want to come up and zoom in to show that's where the pond is. Since I can't get down there, I don't know the feeling, but up here, the feeling is not good. I really don't even like being here. Looking at the pattern of the trees, they have the same markings at the bottom. So I think that one's starting to get whatever this one got. I should get a closer look at that tall, skinny guy. I heard something up in the tree as well. That one. I couldn't see anything, but it sounded like a bird.
See anything?
Yeah. And I heard it when I was like right under it.
Exactly, that's where I was. Well, the other thing too, such open land, you're hearing stuff from the other side of that.
Right.
Kind of like how you kept thinking you were hearing cars.
True. I feel bad for you guys, but remember, you're not allowed to come home for me. I'm sorry that you've had this tragic existence up here, but these poor headstones. Like this one.
Yeah.
It's all that's left of it.
Yeah. Might be one of the oldest ones here.
Yeah. Oh wow. So Sean, now that you mention it, looking at the pine cones on this one, they're like ash colored too. A snake?
Stick right by it.
Ooh. That's some beautiful coloring on him.
Not do well with snakes. Just looking at us. Hi, buddy. Yeah. Lost me at snake.
That's a whole side of the cemetery Alex is not going back to.
Nope. I don't do well with snakes. That's my hard limit.
So we've heard what we're assuming a bird. Haven't heard anything that's even remotely like howls or anything. So I got a question.
Yeah?
This one here, does it look like the headstone was shattered, or does it look like they used a marker like they did at the almshouse?
I think it's
like
a marker. There might have been a stone at some point, but that's definitely a marker right there. I also found this on the ground, and I figured it's trash, and I need to pick it up.
Yeah, I saw a beer bottle over there
Yep.
too. We're in a snag.
I'm intrigued by this one, though. This is...
I thought it was a business card you had at first.
There's writing on it.
Really?
Did you pick it up?
She pick what up? The steak?
Okay. Oh, okay. That's fine. She's not against this thing, so I have to make sure she's not coming home with it.
So, do you think this was always laying down, or was it standing up at one point?
Based off of the way it's cut at the bottom, I would say it was at one time standing up.
That would have been tall, unless they buried it to a certain depth.
Yeah.
But
See how there's a separation in the stone?
yeah.
It probably did have a base at some point.
And spirits, we are sorry if we step on any of your
Yeah.
graves without knowing it. There's not much for us to go off of here.
I got this spooky snake feeling, so I'm hyper vigilant right now.
That's fine. The more vigilant, the better. Now this is a crazy growing tree.
Oh yeah.
It's separated into two. The one of them separated into two, and then this one grew into one. I've never seen a grave marker with a hand like that at the top before.
Yeah, that was a cool weird one.
No, there's a whole bunch of them.
Yep.
Come to be. Susanna. Just a eerie feeling and negative energy. It's hard to breathe. I don't like it here. I would not come back. This guy's knocked over. Stepping around. Try not to step on any of these guys. What we got, buddy? Can't come home with me, but I'm sorry that this has happened to your resting place. Alright, so Alex found this card that he originally thought was just garbage because it just looks like a black piece of cardboard. But it's plastic and it has like writing on it that we can't make out. So we don't want to get rid of it in case it's important. Let me just see here. Should this card be removed? Saying a hard no. Should it be removed? Is this card garbage?
I agree with Alex. These cardboard clean up the trash.
Yeah, and even when I...
Written it's not legible.
So I was sent to put the card back because Alex doesn't like snakes and there's a snake over here. Look at that. Headstone. Revolutionary War veteran here. So you can tell the difference between this and the DeWittville Cemetery, where they cared about their veterans. And I'm really sad that it's happened to these people. Alright. So Alex said it was over here. Just making sure the snake isn't here so I don't step on him. There's the snake. And there's noise out there. Just gonna come around, snake. You're good. Alright, so I'm just gonna leave a card here, I think. Is this a good place to leave your card? Okay. I'm hearing more noises from the trees. Nothing that I can't pinpoint as a bird. Anything there? If anything's in the trees, you can show yourself on camera. But we're gonna leave peacefully. So as you've been able to see, there is a lot of activity that we picked up around Goodleburg. A lot of these pictures were not seen during the presentation, so I'll show them now. But you can see different orbs here that almost look like they are either hovering in the trees, watching us, or around the trees, especially that black one. It pops up more than once, especially during the videos. These white ones, we learned, are kind of just more neutral spirits, just around. Yellow, red, and orange are more like cautions. There's that black one again, and same with here. Black's usually a more serious spirit or negative. I don't want to say demon necessarily, but just so you're kind of aware of what the colors might be. And here with these flashes, when I slowed it down, I noticed each flash usually was preceded or followed by an orb somewhere, and they were going so fast that I couldn't even catch them going down to like 1% speed. This yellow one here, it cut across the screen, and what I found interesting is it was before this black one came around a tree, almost like I surprised it. And same thing here. This yellow one pops up here. And like I said, with those flashes, slowing it down, I was even barely able to catch it. What's interesting about the black one being near the pond is the whole time we were there, I could see and sense that there was a spirit hanging out near the edge of the cemetery, roughly where this was happening here, watching us the whole time. I did not try to address or speak to the spirit. I just wanted to leave it alone so it would leave us alone. But it is interesting that it does pop up in multiple pictures and videos, almost like it is watching us. And the spirit leaving the pond, I thought was really interesting just because of the history with the pond. And I really like the two orbs coming down the trees here behind Sean and Alex. And then this picture was a picture taken by Sean right before that video. And here you can see the orb in the picture before it comes down the tree. Really amazing to see from both angles there. And that orb following Jocelyn, she was walking around cleaning off the grave, so I think it was just kind of checking her out, or almost like introducing itself to her. But yeah, a lot of these orbs are faster than anything we've encountered. There are still slower ones like you'll see here with this one as well, that do slow down. And I don't know if that has to do with an energy frequency or something else that would affect the speed of an orb or anomaly cutting through. And then with the pendulum over the card Alex found, really interesting that the orb fired out immediately as soon as I was beginning to talk here. And definitely makes the pendulum started swing, or at least swing faster, which is incredible that it goes both ways. And then here in this picture Sean took, you can see the orb up by my camera where I was at, which is another just incredible to me. And then as I was putting the card back here, a lot of stuff started happening. And one thing we noticed, I kind of cut out the audio for these clips here, is the wind kept picking up a lot of the time as most of these were going on. Which that was part of the legends too. When the wind picks up, you can hear noises and things like that, which everything was matching up with the lore, which was on one hand scary, but on the other hand fascinating and kind of amazing. Like here, as I'm looking in the trees for these noises and the wind is picking up, orbs flashing by, that black orb came around the tree again after I put the card back. And I know in this, when I put the card back down, it looked as if that black orb was coming at me, but I really think it was more or less going towards the card. The way it came out around the tree, kind of watching me put it down, and then eventually coming and backing off. I think it was really just checking the card to make sure it was there. And like I said, as I'm looking in the trees for these noises and the wind's picking up, this orb's flashing by, and then eventually the other flashes happen on the camera. Really just fascinating stuff, a little scary stuff. But overall, definitely an experience at Goodleburg, I would for sure say. Alright, so we just got back from our walk to and through Goodleburg Cemetery. We did not get the drone up. The wind picked up right in the back part there as we were there, so we just put the kibosh on it because there were some private property markers, so I was not going to risk getting shot to go retrieve my drone. First thing, just walking back, I was watching some of the footage, and I'll edit it and slow it down to see if it's legit, but there were like flashes across the camcorder almost in like every video.
Right across the bottom.
Yeah. And one other one was like in the middle or upper part, so that'll be interesting to take a look at. So I have a feeling it's not a happy place. Like we were talking, we wouldn't say it was evil.
No.
But
as soon as you
sad
walk in,
and upset.
it's kind of heavy.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's that you keep getting that wet mouth feeling like when you're about to throw up. I don't know what that's about because I don't get nauseous, but my mouth had that wet feeling the entire time.
Yeah, and it was almost like suffocating at some parts. I mean, it didn't feel like anything was attaching or trying to attack or anything, but I felt like they just weren't happy with everything that had transpired in there. So it'd be interesting to see what the pictures and videos show as far as like those flashes and if there's anything else there. Kept hearing a noise in a few of the trees. I'm pretty sure it was like a bird, but couldn't pinpoint anything. But it was definitely like an eerie sound whenever I got near the tree. We did see a snake too. Alex's favorite part. Alex, what'd you think? Besides your snake boy.
Heavy. I'm intrigued personally most about the card I found. Yeah,
Black on black.
black on black and some text.
That was illegible at
yeah.
this point. Yeah.
It was interesting.
I think the other thing too that we noticed is there's coins all along the perimeter, on the graves on the perimeter mostly, but then certain graves did have coin offerings.
Yeah. It does seem well visited. For better or for worse, because there was a lot of like broken glass bottles and whatnot, which I think is part of why they're so upset. Why the feeling there is so heavy is because the signs were graffitied and
Bullet holes.
And I
bullet
look at the
holes,
stop
and
sign. The stop sign has
there were
bullet
broken
holes.
like beer bottles everywhere.
Yeah,
But
and
the main feeling I got was pleasant actually because they were thankful that I was cleaning up. There was one point where my arms kind of got really cold and my hair stood up a little bit, but it wasn't like a scary feeling. It's more neutral. It was just something like that. I don't know. We did see 3 snakes though, which was interesting. We saw the one in the cemetery, the little baby one, as we were walking away from the cemetery, which I put off to the side so he didn't get squished.
Like the third one.
And the third one was either, I think it was a squished baby snake, and I just think that's interesting that we saw 3 of them within 1,000 feet of the cemetery.
Like a lot of the cemeteries and places we visit have had wildlife. A couple of the places in Erie had spiders galore, but seeing actual snakes was pretty interesting.
yeah.
There were a lot of snake holes too. So
Well, yeah, all of our experiences on the steps
Oh,
going
yeah.
up.
So
Andrew tripped on the last step and smashed his knee.
I tried to take his kneecap.
Yeah.
Sean, what did you feel when you were...
So I was standing there, just completely stationary. There's trees there, but there's nothing directly above us. And I was just standing there taking pictures of the offerings at the entrance, and something hit my sleeve. I saw something that looked like white, but kind of felt like a raindrop. That's how it sounded when it hit. There's nothing around. So I don't know what that was.
When I was standing on the little middle landing, as the wind was blowing, I was feeling like a gentle push. Like, okay, thank you for being here, but it's time to go.
Which, that's how the tales go, that the doctor will do anything to get you to leave. So,
Thank you for coming to clean up, but get the hell out.
yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
No guy in
Your-
camel
your
clothes with
time
curly
here
hair.
is up. Thank you, but it's your visit has ended. Please leave.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're gonna come visit, don't vandalize and graffiti. If this has been happening since the 90s, like they say, where people just break the tombstones and steal them, don't do that. Don't be dicks.
And there weren't many tombstones still there. So I don't know if this has always had a small population, but it looks like a store after Black Friday. Like, that's how this place looks.
Yeah, a lot of the stones are missing, and what's left of them is slowly either sinking into the ground or being absorbed by the debris.
Well, yeah, that was Goodleburg Cemetery for us. So thanks for checking us out. Like and subscribe. This will probably be our last visit of the year because the weather's going to be turning soon. But we'll try to continue the podcast in other ways. So thanks for coming on this ride with us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.